Every day, hundreds of concerts take place around the world. For these shows to happen, there has to be large crews to set them up. These crews are responsible for stage setup, lights, and large speaker arrays. One of these large venue companies is called Clair Global, a company formed in Dallas, Texas. David found the time to sit down with Dustin Weiss to talk about his story as a front-of-house sound engineer.
When I was really young in grade school, I started out on the chair squad, then led to working in theater and working more towards the audio end of that. Some friends of mine and I put together a small sound company doing live sound, all of which are still kind of in the business. One of my buddies is a studio owner, also a paramedic and a hot air balloonist. My other friend worked for Neutric, who repairs worldwide all of their test bench equipment. So it just kind of went from working with a small sound system, working in clubs, to bigger and bigger venues and bigger artists. And in 1988, I joined a company called Shoko out of Dallas, Texas. Went out on the Rolling Stones tour as a tech. 3 years later, I was a system engineer, crew chief. Haven't stopped since. In 2000, Clair Brothers bought our Shoko company out and just made the move to the other company and haven't looked back.
David has been with the company for more than 25 years as a crew chief and has experience working with several large commercial artists from around the world and with local bands from Portland, Oregon, like Dan Reed Network and other artists.
I've done 3 Rolling Stones tours, been out with Paul McCartney 3 or 4 times, Janet Jackson, Phil Collins, Genesis. It runs to Barbra Streisand, hardcore, more hard rock bands like Stone Temple Pilots. Do country bands like Blake, Reba, Alan Jackson. Just a little bit of everything. I also engineer live theatrical productions for Tyler Perry, which is theatrical play with music.
During the 90s, the short boy band movement, David had the opportunity to work with NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, and shares the experience doing live front-of-house engineering for bands nationally and worldwide.
I worked with NSYNC during its entire 6 years of existence. Also worked with Britney Spears and a host of other artists, Backstreet Boys. The biggest problem I have, and still to the day, is you can never get your PA out over the top of 20 or 30,000 screaming girls. They're all right there in the 2 to 3K band, and it just shuts your ears down. There's never a PA big enough to get over that. You just kind of go through the motions half the time. You know what you're supposed to do. You know when you're supposed to push a mix. You're supposed to hit a cue. A lot of times when it gets really loud at the top of the show, I'll throw some time-aligned headphones on because I'm usually 100 to 150 feet away from the stage, so the time arrival will be different in my cans than the actual PA.
Moncrieffe has been working in the event business for years and has done other types of events like touring on American Idol tour, working with young kids from the show, and helping to teach them the process of the music industry.
Working with a bunch of young kids, they're fairly new at what they do, so they need some help along the way, but that's what we do in our business. Is as with any newer artists or any of our newer staff, we're there as a senior to teach them all the ropes, how to do things right, how to do things on a timely basis, and that includes things like bus etiquette even. I live on a bus most of the time on tour, buses and hotel rooms. So there's just certain things you need to, keep your bus clean.
For the last 2 decades, touring with big artists, David has experienced several memorable moments. These moments include working with one of the most famous pop artists, like Janet Jackson.
Janet's amazing. Miss Janet is an amazing entertainer, amazing dancer, super nice human being. People on her immediate staff were really great. It was an awesome show. Got to work with one of my good friends, Rob Cubby Colby, as a front house engineer. I was system engineer crew chief on that, which is my main duty. I do a lot of mixing duties as well, but my main duty is to set up safely, maintain, tune a sound system in a large room for accurate coverage, even coverage over the entire space.
Life of a sound engineer can be challenging, with strict deadlines, overcoming problems like speaker failures, building custom sound equipment based on musician needs. If it wasn't for live sound engineers like David Moncrieffe, the concerts that we all enjoy would not be possible. Moncrieffe is currently on tour with Blake Shelton doing live engineering for events like music festivals, like the Cape Blanco Country Music Festival here in Oregon at the small community of Sixes at the end of August.